Are you in control of your life? Or is your life controlling you? Take a moment to reflect on that, because it's one of the most important questions you'll ever ask yourself.
Attitudes, mentality, and mindset. If you want to be an impactful personality, you have to develop certain types of thinking and perceptions that change the way you see yourself and see the world.
You know, we're frequently asked about the law of attraction. And the law of attraction really is misunderstood by most people. They really are. What we have to understand is that it's a secondary law. Now, what do we mean by that? Well, there's a primary law called the law of vibration. The law of vibration decrees that everything in this universe moves, nothing rests.
Resistance means standing firm against both. It means feeling the fear and still taking the first step. It means hearing the doubt and still charging forward. Resistance is the discipline to act when every emotion screams to freeze. It is the control to focus on the mission when the mind is flooded with uncertainty. You cannot destroy fear by wishing it away. You cannot eliminate doubt by hoping for it to vanish. You must face them, fight them, overcome them. You must lean into fear. You must walk through doubt. You must teach yourself day by day to act not because you are fearless, but because you have decided that fear will not rule your life.
Every one of us, no matter where we come from or what we do, faces challenges, pressures, and coaxes that seem completely out of our control. These are the things that we often feel helpless against, whether it's a difficult situation at work, a strained relationship, financial hardships, or even the broader challenges we face in society, like the economy or politics. We all know what it feels like to be swept up in a storm of events that seem too powerful for us to influence. But the reality is, how we respond to those challenges defines the quality and direction of our lives. You see, life doesn't just happen to us. We don't just passively sit by and hope for the best while external forces like time, fate, or the actions of others dictate our outcomes. No, the truth is that every day, every moment, we are making choices. And those choices, whether big or small, have a compounding effect on our lives.
It doesn't matter how big you are, how intelligent you are, how many degrees you get. It's your mind that keeps you small. You don't need to be intelligent. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to have a certain height. You don't need to have a certain weight. You don't need to have any kind of advantage. The attitude is the difference. Attitude. And it doesn't matter how small you are, or how unintelligent you may seem to be, or how much you don't have. It is the thinking of the person that makes them see circumstances different. The attitude, therefore, is the difference. People ask me, how am I doing? My answer is, I have no problems. The word problem is a human definition of an opportunity to grow. If you call it a problem, it's a negative. If you see it as an opportunity, it becomes a positive.
The body in a coffin is moving. You're probably thinking this guy's smoking something. Listen, if the body in a coffin wasn't moving, how would it ever change to dust? It's always moving. It's always vibrating. Everything vibrates. We live in an ocean of motion. Take a microscope and look at a solid wall. It's not solid. It only appears to be solid. A perception problem there. You'll see the wall moving right in front of your eyes. There's a particle of energy and they're dancing right before your eyes. That's the law of vibration. The law of vibration decrees everything moves, nothing rests. We literally live in an ocean of motion. Now, this physical instrument we're living in, we call our body, is a molecular structure, and it's in a very high speed of vibration. Our brain is an electronic switching station. When we activate brain cells, we alter the vibration in different parts of the body. I could not move my hand up and down or my arm up and down without first giving a message to my brain to do that. Well, the brain activates cells in the body. It sets up a vibration in the body. The vibration that the mind and body are in is going to dictate what you attract. Because when you put yourself in a vibration, what you're really doing is put yourself on a specific frequency. That's what you do when you set a goal. Most people set a goal and then wait for it to happen. It's never going to happen. You've got to assume that it's already happened. You've got a picture of it in your mind. Mentally, it's already happened. It's happened because I've got the idea in my conscious mind. If I didn't have the idea in my conscious mind, I couldn't talk to you about it. The very fact I can talk to you about it means that I've already got it.
Fear and doubt thrive in hesitation. They grow stronger when you pause, when you second guess, when you wait. But they shrink under the weight of decisive action. They wither when you move forward with conviction. Resistance is built by small victories. Every time you act in the presence of fear, you drive a blade into its heart. Every time you persist through doubt, you tighten your grip on your own destiny. Most people fold at the first sensation of fear. They bow to the first whisper of doubt. That is why most people live lives of quiet desperation, trapped in cages they built with their own hesitation. But you will not be most people. You will resist. You will stand. You will charge through the wall that stops lesser men cold. Understand that fear is not truth. Doubt is not reality. They are stories your mind tells to protect you from pain. They are lies dressed as warnings. They are parasites that feed on your potential. You owe them no loyalty. You owe them no attention. Your loyalty is to your mission. Your attention belongs to your goals. When fear rises, do not argue with it. Do not negotiate with it. Move anyway. When doubt creeps in, do not indulge it. Do not justify it. Starve it by acting with complete commitment. Every champion you have ever admired learned to resist fear and doubt. Every warrior who conquered learned to press forward when terror clawed at his mind. Every leader who changed the world felt the cold hands of doubt trying to choke him and tightened his grip instead. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not the absence of fear and doubt. It is the mastery of resistance. It is the refusal to give fear and doubt a vote in the decisions that shape their lives.
It's not about the hand we're dealt, it's about how we choose to play it. This is a fundamental principle that's so easy to overlook because in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we often into the trap of reacting to everything around us. We react to people. We react to situations. We react to problems, and in doing so, we forget something crucial. We always have the power to choose how we respond. I want to share with you today the first and most foundational habit of highly effective people, which is to be proactive. This is where real personal power begins. This is the starting point of all meaningful success and growth. Being proactive is about taking control of your life, about realizing that no matter what happens to you, you always have the power to decide how you will respond. It's about taking responsibility for your life, your choices, and ultimately your happiness. Now, I know that's not always an easy concept to embrace. It's human nature to feel powerless in certain situations. We've all been there. We've all experienced moments when it feels like we're trapped, whether it's by external circumstances, difficult people, or even our own past mistakes. But let me be clear, you are not trapped. The most empowering realization you can ever come to is this: you are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your decisions. You don't have to wait for things to change, for someone else to give you permission, or for the world to make it easier for you. You can take control right now, starting today, simply by choosing to be proactive. When you choose to be proactive, you're making a deliberate decision to live your life based on your values, not on the circumstances you find yourself in. You're not waiting for the world to act on you. Instead, you're acting on the world. You're not reacting to events, emotions, or the actions of others. You're thoughtfully responding in a way that aligns with your deepest values and long-term vision. That's the difference between a reactive life, which is controlled by external forces, and a proactive life, which is guided by intentional choices. Now, let's take a closer look at what it means to be proactive. Being proactive is more than just taking action. It's about taking responsibility. Responsibility is a powerful word. It means that you are the one in charge of your own life. It means that you understand that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you absolutely control how you respond to those things. It means recognizing that between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies your freedom and your power.
And if you don't believe in the Bible, that's okay. I'm doing just fine, believe me. And the Bible helped me become what I am. But it was that book that checked my thinking. How do you think? Write this down. Attitude is a product of belief. No one can live beyond the limits of their belief. So if you want to live beyond what you're living now, you have to change your belief system. When you have the discovery of a new belief system, your life is what you think it should be. That's exactly what you are right now. You are what you thought you should be. And if you don't like who you are, you got to change what you think you should be. The secret to anyone rising is what happens in their belief system. No amount of training or management methods or titles, no amount of promotion or associations with rich people or smart people can ever substitute for the right attitude. You got to first change your perception of who you are. And that starts with a belief system. Secondly, you must change your perception of why you think you exist. And number three, your sense of significance. Once you discover, no matter where you are right now, it doesn't matter. I don't care what situation you're in now, where you're working, or what situation you're in, your perception of who you are, you've got to change it. And most of our perceptions are other people's concepts of us, and therefore we don't have self-concept, we got other concept. What is your perception of who you are? And the second one, why do you think you exist? You got to discover that you were born for something. Some reason, there's some purpose for your life. If you don't discover that, you'll always have a job, and we'll bury you in an average grave with an average tombstone.
Then I've got to get emotionally involved in it. I'm already emotionally involved in the goal that I've got. I've got it intellectually, I've got it emotionally. It's only a period of time till it moves into form. How does it move into form? Well, you attract whatever is required for it to move into form. You attract all the energy that's necessary to produce the physical result. How do you do that? You do that by intellectually and emotionally staying in the vibration of the good that you desire. You see it already in the present tense. So that keeps you on the frequency, and that frequency then dictates what you're going to attract. You can only attract to you what's in harmonious vibration with you. Now, if you're holding an image that you can't get something, you're on a vibration, you're not going to get it. But if you can see yourself with it, you know it's coming to you. You know it. You know it's only a period of time. You're not quite sure what the time is, but you know it's a period of time, and bang, that thing's going to manifest in your life. You have controlled the vibration that you're in. The vibration then, called the frequency, you put yourself on the frequency that you desires on. Let's suppose I want to have a lot of money. We were just talking about money. Now this is a lot of money relative to, let's say, this. There's 100, here's 10 or 100 100. So one's a lot relative to the other. Neither one is a lot, it just is. If I want to attract a lot of money, I got to see myself with a lot of money. I got to mentally accept I've already got it. I don't let my bank account dictate that. I choose that. So I'm choosing myself to see myself with the good I already desire. I'm on that frequency. Now the trick is to stay on that frequency. Most people look at the results and they let the results dictate the frequency they're on. That's why they keep getting the same results.
You must make resistance your instinct. You must train yourself to move toward what you fear, to run toward what you doubt. Resistance must become automatic. The moment you feel fear, step forward. The moment you hear doubt, act stronger. Build the habit of defiance against the forces that seek to control you. Build the reflex of action against the voices that seek to paralyze you. Build the spirit of the fighter who charges into the battle knowing he may bleed, but refusing to retreat. Fear is loud, doubt is persistent, but the man who resists them long enough becomes deaf to their noise. He moves through them as if they are mist. He sees them for what they are, illusions without substance. Fear predicts disaster that almost never comes. Doubt forecasts failure that almost never materializes. Resistance tears away the veil and exposes the weakness behind their threats. You will never eliminate fear and doubt completely. That is not the goal. The goal is to render them powerless through relentless forward motion. You must understand that everything you want lies on the other side of resistance. The victories you dream about are guarded by the dragons of fear and doubt. But those dragons are made of smoke. They cannot stop you unless you bow to them, and you will not bow. You will resist, you will rise, you will advance while others retreat. You will endure while others collapse. You will build a life of strength, courage, and victory because you chose to fight the battle most men refuse to face. Resistance to fear and doubt is not a one-time act. It is a way of life. It is a decision you make every morning and every night. It is a commitment you renew every time the enemy tries to storm your gates. It is a declaration you shout into the darkness every time fear tries to whisper you back into safety. You are not here to live safe. You are not here to exist inside the small prison of comfort. You are here to conquer, to build, to create, to endure. Fear and doubt are the taxes you must pay for greatness.
That space is where you decide how you will act, how you will think, and how you will behave. It's in that space where you create the outcomes of your life. So many people spend their lives reacting to whatever happens to them. If someone treats them poorly, they react with anger or frustration. If something goes wrong, they react with disappointment or blame. If they don't get what they want, they react with negativity or resignation. These are reactive behaviors, and when we live reactively, we are essentially giving away our power. We are letting other people, circumstances, or even our own negative emotions control us. But proactive people don't allow that to happen. Proactive people understand that no one else can make them feel a certain way. No one else can make them behave a certain way. They have the ultimate power over their own lives because they choose their responses based on their principles, not based on the situations they face. This idea of proactivity is closely tied to the concept of responsibility. We have the ability to choose our responses no matter what happens. Think about that for a moment. No one can take away your ability to choose your response. People can treat you unfairly. You can face setbacks or failures. You can encounter all kinds of difficulties. But no matter what happens to you, you always have the ability to choose how you will respond. That's your responsibility, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have in shaping your life. This is not just a theoretical concept. It's something you can apply every day, in every situation. Whether you're dealing with a difficult boss, a challenging relationship, financial stress, or even personal struggles, you always have a choice in how you respond. And that choice can either move you closer to your goals or farther away from them. It can either empower you or disempower you. It can either build you up or tear you down. The key is to choose thoughtfully, to choose in alignment with your values, and to choose proactively. Being proactive also means focusing your time and energy on what you can control, rather than wasting it on things you can't. So many people spend their energy worrying about things outside their control, what other people think, what might happen in the future, things that have already happened in the past. But proactive people don't waste their time on those things. Instead, they focus on their circle of influence, the things they can actually do something about. When you live proactively, you direct your energy toward actions that make a real difference in your life. And as you do that, your influence grows and your ability to affect positive change in your life expands. 45. So as we begin our journey into understanding the habits of highly effective people, remember this: proactivity is the foundation. It's the habit that allows all other habits to take root. It's the habit that empowers you to take control of your life, no matter what circumstances you face. It's the habit that enables you to create the outcomes you desire, rather than being at the mercy of external forces. Today, you have a choice. Will you live reactively, allowing life to happen to you, or will you choose to live proactively, taking responsibility for your actions, your outcomes, and your future? The power is in your hands. Choose wisely. Choose to be proactive. Today we are going to dive deep into the very first and most fundamental habit of highly effective people: be proactive. This habit is where it all begins. It's the foundation upon which all other habits are built. If you truly want to transform your life, if you want to break free from the patterns that have been holding you back, if you want to rise above the challenges and obstacles that life throws your way, you have to start here. This habit is about far more than just taking action. It's about taking responsibility for your life. It's about understanding that you are in control. not of everything that happens to you, but of how you respond to it.
They have the image in their mind, they're already reached the goal they want, they're already successful, and somebody else comes along and says, well, you haven't got those results. In my mind, I have, but they're not looking in my mind, they're looking at my present results. And then pretty soon I start listening to them, I think, God, they're right. I look at my results, I haven't got it. Do you see why we keep getting this poor results? You've got to see yourself with the good you desire. You've got to hold that image in your mind. You've got to know it's going to come, and that will attract everything that's necessary. See, nothing is created or destroyed. Everything's already here. If not in one frequency, certainly in another, or not in one state, certainly in another. We've got to get on the frequency of the good that we desire, and we will attract it into our life just as sure as it's going to get darker tonight. And we can do that. Now, are you going to understand it just based on what I said? No, you probably won't. But at least I created an awareness. Oh, wait a minute. My body is a mass of energy. My mind, my brain, my mind activates the brain cells. The brain is an electronic switching station. If I change my thinking, my body changes. God, there's probably something here I should study. Hopefully on what I've told you, on what I've shared with you, is going to get you interested. See, everything my company teaches, we go into this in depth. We help you understand you so that you can attract the good that you desire. But you've got to get in the right vibration. You've got to understand it. You've got to understand the natural laws that govern this whole universe. And if you don't understand them, you're leaving it up to chance or luck, and odds are pretty good it ain't going to happen very well. Can you understand it? Listen, I never went to school. I went to high school for 2 months. I had a horrendous work record. I couldn't hold a job. And all of a sudden, wham, like that. Very, very successful by almost anybody's standards. How did that happen? A person took an interest in me, and he started to teach me. And I took an interest in what he was teaching. He said, if you do exactly what I tell you, you can get anything you want. I don't coach many people one-on-one. When I do, it costs them a lot of money, but they've got to agree they're going to do exactly what I tell them. And if they don't do it, then I don't help them. It's all over. That's got to be the way it works. Go to someone who understands something better than you understand it and do exactly what they tell you. They prove they know how to get the results, they're getting them. Understand, this is an orderly universe you and I are a part of. We are God's highest form of creation. There's nothing that will equal us. We can accomplish anything. But we've got to raise our level of conscious awareness. We've got to understand these laws, and we've got to live in harmony with them. That's when we're going to start to get the good we desire. It's a beautiful thing to understand. I thank God I understand it. Solomon said, in all you're getting, get understanding. Understand the law of vibration. You understand that, everything else is going to fall into place for you.
And you will pay them without complaint, because the reward is a life that ordinary men will never taste. Daily mental conditioning is the iron discipline that forges a mind too strong to break, too sharp to dull, too focused to falter. The mind, left unattended, becomes weak, soft, and unreliable. It becomes a playground for fear, doubt, distraction, and defeat. But the mind that is trained daily becomes a weapon more powerful than any challenge it faces. Daily conditioning is the grind that strengthens your will, sharpens your focus, and fortifies your spirit until you become untouchable. It is not a suggestion. It is not optional. It is the price of entry into the arena of greatness. Your mind must be trained with the same ruthlessness and intensity as a warrior preparing for battle. You do not wait for the mind to be strong. You forge it through deliberate, relentless effort. Every day that you do not condition your mind is a day you grow weaker. Every day you skip the training of your thoughts is a day you allow weakness to creep in. Mental strength is not built by accident. It is built by daily rituals of focus, determination, and action. It is built by setting the tone of your mind every morning and reinforcing it every night. You must flood your mind daily with visions of your goals, with affirmations of your power, with reminders of your mission. You must program your mind for success before the world has a chance to program it for failure. You must build the reflex to think strong when others think weak, to see opportunity when others see obstacles, to feel certainty when others feel fear. Daily mental conditioning is about deliberately shaping the way you interpret every event, every setback, every victory. It is about choosing the lens through which you see the world. and choosing strength every time. Daily conditioning requires ruthless honesty. You must face your weaknesses without excuse. You must attack your limitations without mercy. You must hunt down every excuse, every lie, every hidden fear, and expose it to the light. You must ask yourself every day, where am I weak? Where am I hesitating? Where am I allowing comfort to replace conquest? Only through daily examination and correction can you forge a mind that will not betray you when the pressure mounts. A weak mind seeks comfort. A strong mind seeks growth. Conditioning ensures you are always moving forward, never retreating. You must challenge your mind daily with problems that stretch you, with tasks that demand more focus, with goals that force greater commitment. Growth does not happen in ease, it happens in strain. Every day you must do something that demands more than you think you can give. Every day you must push the limits of what you believe is possible for you. This is the essence of conditioning, pushing past yesterday's limits so that today you stand stronger, sharper, more relentless than ever before. Comfort is the enemy. Challenge is the fuel. Pain is the proof that you are forging a new mind.
Being proactive means that instead of letting life happen to you, you take charge of your life. It's about recognizing that you are not merely a product of your environment, your circumstances, or even your upbringing. Yes, those things have an impact, but they don't define you. What defines you is how you choose to respond to them. Being proactive is not about reacting to external stimuli or waiting for the perfect conditions to act. It's about realizing that the power to act lies within you right now, in this very moment. Let's be clear, being proactive is a mindset. It's a shift in perspective that changes the way you see the world and your place in it. Reactive people wait for things to happen, and when they do, they react to them often with emotions, impulses, or negative patterns. They blame external factors for their failures or frustrations. They blame their boss, their spouse, the economy, the weather, or their past for where they are in life. But proactive people live by a different rule. They understand that between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies their greatest power, the power to choose. That choice is everything. When you choose to be proactive, you are essentially reclaiming your personal freedom. You are declaring that you will no longer be a victim of your circumstances, no longer a passive observer in your own life, but an active creator of it. You are taking responsibility for your own happiness, success, and well-being. This mindset is transformative because it puts you back in the driver's seat. It empowers you to make decisions based on your values and principles, not based on the situation you find yourself in at any given moment. It's about being guided by your inner compass rather than being swayed by external forces.